Brian Kim, pastor of House Denver Church, is accused of bullying, spiritual abuse, and lying, according to former church leaders and members in a petition posted online. The petition accuses Kim of 11 types of abusive leadership that span at least 10 years at House and 2 other ministries, including the International House of Prayer Kansas City, IHOPKC. Our heart in bringing this charge is not to cause pain, division, or revenge, the petition states. Our desire is to protect the sheep and prevent further harm to those entrusted to Brian's leadership and the leadership team surrounding him. Emphasis in original. More than 40 people with ministry connections to Kim, including someone who hired him, are calling for either resignations or a third-party investigation of Kim and all of House's elders. Our goal is to follow a biblical process with the hope of fostering healthy church leadership, structure, and shepherding of congregants at House Denver. The petition states. The Roy's report, TRR, reached out to Kim and the House Denver elders through phone and email, but did not immediately hear back. Until 2023, House Denver was part of Upper Room, a multi-site church from Dallas that formed out of Prayer Room. Kim is a former executive leadership team, ELT, leader at the embattled IHOPKC. He also was one of 3 former IHOPKC leaders who signed a letter in October 2023 accusing IHOPKC founder Mike Bickle of clergy sexual abuse spanning several decades. The exposure eventually led to a third-party investigation that found that Bickle groomed and sexually abused 17 women, some of whom were minors. Bickle used to be an overseer for House Denver, according to the petition. Kim also founded Antioch Center for Training and Sending, ACTS, a training center for church planters based in Colorado Springs. The petition alleges that Kim's elders at House haven't held Kim accountable when members have gone to them with concerns. Its authors accuse the elder team of protecting the pastor and perpetuating a pragmatic culture that put organizational growth over caring for parishioners. This has resulted in turning a blind eye to sin. Emphasis in original. The elders include Kim, his wife Grace, Troy Lee, Don and Kathy Schuster, Bradley and Savannah Eigenberg, Corey Russell, and David Townsend. Kim's IHOPKC advocacy efforts questioned. When in October 2023, Kim and former IHOPKC leaders Dwayne Roberts and Wes Martin signed a letter strongly calling out Bickle for his abuse, it launched a more than year-long exposure of abuses at the 24/7 prayer room. But the petition about Kim calls into question some of Kim's other decisions about misconduct at IHOPKC. The petition mentions Kim's knowledge in 2022 of an affair between former IHOPKC ELT member Misty Edwards and Christian musician Kevin Prosh, which TRR previously reported. But even with that knowledge, Kim still brought Edwards to teach at Upper Room Denver in 2022, the petition states. The petition also notes that Kim pulled back from publicly being part of an advocate group, calling for accountability at IHOPKC. 3 months after Kim's initial letter calling for accountability for Bickle, he was no longer signing his name to the group's efforts. The petition alleges that Kim lied about why he stopped being part of the advocate group. Kim told the IHOP advocate group that his elders told him to take his name off, and this has been confirmed to be false by former and current House Denver elders, the petition states. The petition also states that Kim and Corey Russell allowed Bickle to serve on their church's oversight team after learning of his sexual misconduct. Corey Russell, a House Denver elder who is also being accused of abuse, used to be the director of the Foreigner program at IHOPKC. They allowed a wolf and a sexual predator to oversee our church, the petition states. The petition claims Kim and his wife, Grace, have not taken the time to address the unhealthy traits they learned from their spiritual father, Mike Bickle. If left uncorrected, we believe this behavior will only intensify, leading to more victims. Emphasis in original. The allegations. From at least a decade of ministry, Kim has a pattern of prioritizing mission over congregants, lying from the pulpit and in person, manipulation, demeaning people, and putting in place false accountability. Former House leader Jonathan Wield reportedly told House elders last May. And dozens of people have been hurt, Wield said to elders, according to documentation attached to the petition. Here are dozens of people from the last 10 years who are traumatized due to Brian's leadership, including some of us, and we have a responsibility to speak up, Wield said to elders. Wield was part of the leadership team who hired Kim at Upper Room Denver. The allegations against Kim include Kim's time at ACTS and IHOPKC, according to letters to elders by former House leaders. The petition incorporates more than 40 pages of documentation, including Wield's notes on that May 2024 meeting, and shows growing tension since Kim's 2020 hiring at the Denver church. Kim created and disbanded leadership teams frequently, and Kim criticized or pushed out members and leaders who raised questions about clarity of vision, decisions Kim made, or deception from the pulpit, Wield stated. The petition mentions Kim's use of non-disclosure agreements tied to severance packages when staff members leave. And Wield also stated that Kim kept a list of the church's top donors. In 2023, Kim reportedly told Wield that he no longer wanted to be under the leadership of Michael Freeland Miller, top leader of Upper Room in Dallas. The petition didn't explain Kim's concerns about Miller. A different Michael Miller, podcaster with Remnant Radio, has recently raised leadership abuse concerns about Michael Freeland Miller's leadership at Upper Room Dallas. Remnant Radio's Michael Miller also signed a petition about Kim. When the Denver branch left Upper Room, it got very contentious, Wield stated in his documentation for the petition. Upper Room Denver owed money to Upper Room Dallas over brand licensing. Lawyers got involved, Wield stated. The attorneys threatened that if Kim didn't pay, Miller wouldn't be present for the transition, according to Wield's timeline. But weeks later, when Kim announced the transition to the congregation, Kim told a different story, Wield stated. Kim reportedly said the transition was conflict-free and unrelated to money. I was shocked and appalled, Wield wrote. This was a clear lie. Last May 2024, Wield and several other church leaders and members asked the elders for a third-party investigation. But the elders, some also church employees, pushed for mediation involving other local pastors. The mediation quickly broke down, the petition reported. Then the whistleblowers decided to take their concerns public. We feel a responsibility to speak out so that his toxic leadership does not continue to inflict great pain and trauma on those he is supposed to be leading, causing significant harm and even leading some to leave the faith, the petition states. Petitioners include people associated with Upper Room Denver, House, IHOPKC, and ACTS. They're calling for House to hire godly response to abuse in the Christian environment, Grace, to investigate, and for Kim and his wife, Grace, to repent. We are also not claiming that Brian and Grace Kim should be permanently disqualified from ministry or leadership positions. The petition states, emphasis in original. Instead, we hope they will submit to a process that enables them to learn, quickly repent, change their behavior, and grow in their leadership abilities. We view this as a restorative process, not a punishment.